Mr. Reagan, can I ask you a question? You were once president of Screen Actors Guild, weren't you? Because, I was wondering, I make up a lot of actresses and stuff, and I really think that I could do a better job than they do. But, is there anything you can, say to get into the guild?
Live from New York on Saturday night.
Huh?
Live from New York on Saturday night.
Oh, live from New York at Saturday night.
Hello and welcome to the Not Ready for Primetime Project. We're Gary Seath and Rizzy Baldero.
And you're not.
This week, on the early years of SNL, we're talking about Season 5, Episode 5, with host Bea Arthur and musical guest The Roches. This show originally aired on November 17th, 1979. Brad, Bea Arthur is here.
Hell yeah.
Man, I do love Bea Arthur.
Of course you do. It's funny. Before this episode, I asked the people on social media, and I said, everyone, what is the one question you want to ask Gary going into this episode? And surprising, winning by 74%, which is Gary's favorite Golden Girl?
Blanche. Or Rose. Blanche or Rose.
They went with Blanche.
Yeah, big Blanche fan.
That.
But also, I love Rose.
I thought you were going to say a big Rue McClanahan fan.
Yeah, how could you not be? A big Bea Arthur fan, too.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
How could you not love Maude? Oh,
Or just Bea Arthur in general.
Maude. It's a great show.
Her first appearance on All in the Family. There's an amazing scene where she sits in Archie's chair.
Yes.
And he's so pissed. It's just such a wonderful scene. It's one of my favorites of all time of All in the Family.
Yeah.
He's just so pissed and she just sets up shop.
Oh, but the way that she interacts with him on screen is just so brilliant. And we see some of that tonight, too, with just how she, the presence that she has on screen, I think is so unique for a woman, especially in the 70s. But just her presence is so, she commands you to pay attention to her. It's awesome.
Yes, totally. It's not a surprise that, you see that guest star on All in the Family and they spin it off into her own show. Successful own show, we should say, too.
Yeah. Yeah, that wasn't just like a little one-off thing. That was awesome. She's great.
Yeah, 6 seasons. She won an Emmy, of course.
Well-deserved.
Yeah, Maude's a great show.
Yeah. I was really looking forward to this appearance on SNL too, because of I feel like she's someone who has that comedic knowledge of how to present on screen and how to play with other people and give up the stage when she needs to and take it over when she needs to.
She's so good.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody who said a bad word about Bea Arthur. She's so talented. She's so funny no matter what she does. And she, like you said, she has that presence that whether it's the lead or supporting or a line, it's just done with such believability and just grace. She's just so good. She's so fun to watch. I agree. I was so excited to watch her come into this. To that point, she's got nothing going on.
Right.
Maude's been off for a year. I think the last thing she did was that Star Wars Christmas special.
Oh, that's
the year
right.
Before. Yeah. But that's just to her point. She doesn't need anything.
Right.
She's like a Buck or an Elliot Gould where you just need to come on and be good. And I'm so glad we got her back, we should say, because she's been on the show once before. Do you remember?
During Norman Lear's thing?
Yeah. She was part of that pre-tape montage thing. Yeah.
I honestly was disappointed in watching her on screen. Disappointed that we didn't see her before now, because I think she would have played very well with Belushi. I think the two of them on screen together would have been a lot of fun.
Oh, she would have stood up to him pretty
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be an interesting dynamic. Yeah.
I miss Belushi in this setting with Bea Arthur.
And yet, I think she plays really well with this cast.
Yes.
At this time. This is a really fun episode. I don't know what you thought. I really like this. We don't get a lot of Bea Arthur, which is my only big complaint is I would have loved to see more of her in the episode.
Right.
But she's very good at complimenting who is there. And I think for the first time this season, the cast gives you a glimpse of what this season could be.
Yes.
On their own.
But I think that speaks to her being a pro, right? Because she is so good. Yep. She can bring out the best in everyone, for the most part. Yeah, we'll get into it.
Oh, Jesus.
But I think there's a lot to talk about with Bea Arthur. Like you said, she's fun. Should we just get into it?
Let's do it.
All right. The show opens without Bea Arthur, but with Sherry. So Sherry, we haven't seen Sherry in quite a while, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And it's sad. We should say this is her last appearance, which I was thinking about it is odd because you would think season 5,
right?
You'd give her a chance to show up more, but
yeah,
no.
you would lean into this recurring character that you've had luck with and success with.
Yeah, this is her 10th time.
Wow, really?
Yeah,
I don't think I realized that.
Yeah.
Sherry is doing the makeup for Ronald Reagan. So this is their first appearance we get of anyone playing Ronald Reagan, right?
Yeah, first sketch, Reagan sketch aside from Weekend Update jokes. Yeah.
Yeah. And Harry Shearer is playing Reagan's assistant, and he's basically going over the schedule for Ronald Reagan, which involves a lot of naps and very bland food. And all the while he's doing that, Sherry is applying and then taking off moisturizer, I think is what it was.
It's very odd. It looked like he just came in. Well, he did. He just came in from a speech, right? And so the idea is like she's cleaning him up.
Right.
But yes, then she reapplies and retakes off and then reapplies. The whole sketch is back and forth of putting moisturizer or shaving cream at one point. I thought she was going to shave him at one point.
That's kind of what it looked like. Yeah. And I think it was supposed to be like, makeup remover type stuff, but it was, maybe it wasn't working. Maybe that was the joke we didn't get.
No, it is makeup remover because at the end, then you realize the bit.
Right.
Which is funny.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Yeah. It was just basically the actor playing Reagan, who I don't know who that was.
No idea. No idea.
He just sits there and he mumbles a little bit when Harry Shearer says things about the food mainly and getting up and nap time.
And naps.
And then we see as the sketch progresses, eventually Sherry helps him take off the wig.
And the eyebrows.
And then we see how old this gentleman actually is. Yeah. And that's the bit. So we're already just like going into the election next year at this point, just harping on how old Reagan is already.
Because weren't the Weekend Update jokes prior to this about Reagan dyeing his hair and stuff like that? I feel like that's the kind of jokes they've been making. Yeah.
There were a couple like that. There were a couple when Chevy was still on season 1 about how far to the right Reagan was at this point in the political, realm. But yeah, it was, I was happy to see Sherry.
Yeah.
And it was fun to see Harry Shearer get in there and have a big part in the cold open.
Harry Shearer is good in this. He's very good.
Very good.
And I think this is what he's best at. Like seeing this sketch made me realize, I think a little bit, like Harry Shearer is not a lead. He is a great supporting character.
Yeah.
A supporting actor. Everything about him is great in this because he's not the focus and he supports everything so well. And as my first note, I thought, he's great in this.
Yeah. He was very good. He doesn't miss a beat either. Like he doesn't flub anything. He's on it the entire time. It was great.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought it was a very fun cold open.
Yeah. It had a nice Ocean's 11 reference. The original with the Rat Pack.
Yes.
And we should say also Lorraine's last solo live from New York.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I think we've seen it like 5, 6, 7 times maybe. But this is going to be her last solo.
It is a shame now that you say that this is the last Sherry appearance we get. It's a shame that they don't lean into this more in season 5.
Yeah, I don't know if it's, a Lorraine issue or just... You know what? She was always never, though, a big fan of doing the recurring characters and leaning on them a lot, if I remember. So I think maybe she just didn't want to keep hitting that well.
Yeah. Perhaps.
Last Lorraine, but in the opening credits, we get our first.
And featuring Tom Davis, Paul Schaefer, and Harry Shearer.
The first feature.
Yeah. Finally.
Yes. Then we get our monologue. Bea Arthur comes out on stage. The crowd seems to love her, as they should.
Of course. Yeah.
And She talks about how nice it is to be back in New York City. She talks about her background in theater and in Broadway. And then she walks over to the piano where she has a lot of praise for Paul Schaefer right off the bat.
Yeah. I think it's the first time they've like announced his name. We've seen him a bunch in like the monologue sketches or stuff playing piano, but with the exception of maybe Nick the Lounge Singer when he throws a call back to Paul, I don't think anybody's actually announced.
I think Elliot Gould did.
Paul Schaefer.
I think Elliot Gould referenced him, but I that's what just my memory. Either way, yeah, it's I mean it's blatant that she's talking about Paul. Right away.
Yeah,
and then she sings "Let Me Love You," accompanied
right
by
away.
Paul. Right away.
Waste no time.
No time.
Nope.
And that's she does a nice job. This is a nice performance.
She's Bea Arthur. She can do whatever she wants.
That's right.
No qualms with this performance.
No.
Through the seasons, I have admittedly detested when hosts feel they need to come on and sing during the opening monologue. Not the case for Bea Arthur.
Yeah. Well, she can back it up.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end, they're done. She, points to Paul, who then grabs her and kisses her. And then they just start making out. And that's it. That's the end of the monologue.
Yeah. It was funny. I like that part. It was funny.
It was. Yeah. Strong monologue. Again, strong cold open, strong monologue. We're off to a really good start, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I like seeing like I said, the Paul Schaefer bit. We know him now, 45 years later by sight. You're like, oh my God, that's Paul Schaefer.
Right.
And you know who he is. But at the time, like I said, you've caught him, Nick the Lounge Singer. He's a random band member on the stage. So it was kind of cool to see him. Again, you saw him in the opening credits as a featured player, but also get to call it out on the stage was nice.
Yeah, it was.
Here's my question for you. How old is Bea Arthur?
Ooh, this is
a good one.
This is a good one. And I did not look this up. I'm going to say in 1979, Bea Arthur was probably 44.
Now she's old. I'm always bad at this. She's old, but she's, late 70s old.
Right.
She's Bea Arthur. Because I believe she was 90 when she was on Golden Girls.
I don't think that's right.
I'm going to maybe checks notes. No. I'm going 55. I'm hedging my bets.
You win.
More than I normally do.
You were right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
No way.
She was 57.
Wow. Look at me. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, because I knew with Maude, she was no spring chicken.
Right.
So that meant, late 40s when she started doing Maude. And so.
Yeah, I guess
She was like in the military. She's like our Christopher Lee. Like a storied career in the military.
Interesting.
Before shifting towards her real gift, which is acting and the stage and screen.
Yeah. All right. I'll take that.
Thank you.
Nice. That's a good parallel. We get a commercial after the monologue. Another commercial for Spud Beer, but not the same commercial that we had in the past for Spud Beer.
No. They call it a sequel.
Yes.
I assume.
This commercial takes place on a boat of refugees and is talking about what to do when you're on a boat and you have nowhere to go and no one wants you.
And your best friend has scurvy.
Yes. But you're going to drink Spud Beer for boat people who know what they want. Yeah, this was a very odd Spud Beer commercial, but I actually enjoyed it.
I did too. I'm glad you said that because I will say it might not hold up well today.
Correct.
Oh, well, whatever. But it's funny and it's just so bizarre that, as you mentioned, we saw this all the way back in season 1.
Right.
And they wait till season 5 to not replay it, but update it.
Yes.
With the new version.
Yeah. I kind of honestly, what it made me think was I wished that had been a runner throughout the 5 seasons where we got all different types of weird Spud Beer commercials. That would have been a lot of fun.
I agree. It would have been funny because they are funny. And, I'm assuming this was either Davis and or Zweibel because they did the first one together, right. I believe. So I'm sure it's one of them involved. And I was kind of waiting for an Alan Zweibel reappearance in this one. It would make no sense. But I just wanted to see it.
Yeah.
Something else that didn't make sense, and maybe you know, is the final tag, not the one you mentioned, but there's another tag at the end where they say, Spud, the beer that almost brought the Beatles together.
I wrote that down as a question for you as well. I didn't understand it.
Unless they were just, this isn't the last Beatles reference we'll get this episode, but it was just odd. I missed something there.
I don't know. Well, then we go to our first sketch of the night, and it starts with Bea as a doctor telling Gilda that she has to have a mastectomy. And then we get the intro for First He Cries with a long scroll.
As you know, written by Franken and Davis then.
That's the tip-off.
Telltale sign.
And the scroll tells us that the following docudrama deals with a sensitive social issue, mastectomies and the psychological effects of the men who must endure the anguish of living with, quote, half a woman.
And thus kicks off one of, if not the, most offensive sketch from the original era.
Yeah, this is
legendary.
Yeah.
They got, I think, like almost 200 phone calls that night, 300 letters. Somebody even tracked down Bea Arthur in the hotel that night and like called and yelled at her.
Wow.
It was like an outrage. I feel like it's this and the woman who killed her husband, shot him when he was skiing.
Claudine Roches. Yeah, this sketch is crazy offensive. And it doesn't help that the sketch is 9.5 minutes long. So it is long. Just keeps going. If it had just been the scroll, like that little bit intro and then the scroll, that's offensive enough. But then for this sketch to continually go on, and like we go to the hospital and she's being visited by her son, James Downey, and Jane Curtin.
They're consoling her and you just hear Bill all of a sudden then, what about me?
Yeah. And then Gilda's like, I thought I was the one who just had an operation. And then Bea lays into her.
Great line. Why don't you come down off your high horse?
Let him go. He needs to be by himself. Larry's been through a lot. You're all going to have to be patient with him. Especially you, Irene.
Well, wait a minute. I'm the one who lost a breast here.
Oh, why don't you come down off your high horse? Larry's going through hell right now. You took away something very important to him.
And again, the way that she delivers this, I think she's so good because she can do things. Yeah, because she can do sketches like this. And just like the way that she answers Gilda in that. And then the way that she gently talks to Bill when we go back to her office in a minute. And
in the next scene.
Yeah. In the next scene of this, what is it? Like 6-scene sketch?
Yeah, it's 5. Her office, hospital, her office, party, her office.
Right. Yeah. Go to a party where Harry takes Bill aside and asks him how he's doing. And then they bump into his niece, Lorraine.
Bambi?
Is that what it was? Bambi?
I believe it's Bambi. Yeah.
And he says, it would be nice to talk to someone in a motel room.
Have you ever seen a Ramada Inn?
Yeah.
And then he just walks out with her.
Yeah. And then we learn that 6 months later, he's still with Bambi, but he's feeling like they have nothing to talk about. Yeah. And then Gilda comes back. I did enjoy when he goes back to Bea's office the final time, she pulls down a chart.
Yes.
Parts of the human female anatomy.
Other parts.
Sexually exciting.
Other parts.
Yeah. Sexually exciting parts of the human female anatomy.
Yeah, you don't have to be sad. You only have one boob. There's many other areas you can explore and have fun with.
Right.
Like the rear.
Yes. And then at the end of this 9.5 minutes, it's a freeze frame of Bill grabbing Gilda's ass.
Which I admittedly liked. As I also liked the Bill Murray sung theme song to close us out. It was very reminiscent of things we did last summer.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Yeah, I mean, this was a very long sketch. It was, the premise is very offensive, I think, but there were funny parts to this that I enjoyed.
Did we mention the fact that they're spoofing a movie that was based off a book? Because that's kind of...
we did not.
Yeah, so the book was called First You Cry, which was written by Betty Rollins, I want to say, who was like an NBC reporter about her actual, struggle and having a mastectomy. And then they made it into a TV movie in 1978 with Mary Tyler Moore and friend of the pod, Anthony Perkins, which is another one. It struck me as odd why it took so long for this to show up. Kind of like that hardcore sketch we had.
Oh, right.
Satirizing a movie. It's like, this is like a good year plus old, and you're finally making fun of it.
Maybe Bea Arthur brought the idea.
No, this was originally written for Buck Henry.
Oh.
And it's one of the very rare instances Buck has said he turned down a sketch.
Interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
Because she is great in this sketch.
Yeah, she really is.
And her being a woman plays a very interesting dynamic with Bill, as opposed to if it was Buck.
Oh, wouldn't Buck be the husband?
You know what? That was my first thought, but I was like, you know what? No, I think Buck's got to be the doctor.
Yeah.
Because you play the other women, if Gilda's the patient,
right?
You've already got the Jane character and the Lorraine character. You've run out of women. So I got to think Buck played the doctor.
Yeah. I mean, the Jane character,
unless
though,
he played
Jane could have played the doctor.
Yeah, maybe.
Because that part, that could have been anybody. That could have been Garrett and Drag.
That'd be an interesting. I'd love to see the original script for the Buck proposal.
Right.
Because who he played and what it was. But yeah, Buck turned it down. So then they brought it back to Bea Arthur, and she thought it was really funny and wanted to do it. And, we mentioned it was an issue with people like NBC. I think even Lorne had known, like, as soon as they saw this sketch, they knew it was going to be trouble. And they actually ran it by the censors and before it went on, and they okayed it. Like, everybody gave the thumbs up. Everybody except Bill. Actually, Bill is like notoriously hated this sketch.
Yeah.
He's quoted as complaining to the writers, "Do you know what it's like to go out there and play something that's going to make people hate you?" Because there's not tons of laughs.
No, there are not tons of laughs.
Aside from tit jokes, there's not tons of laughs.
No, not at all. Yeah, I mean, it honestly, it felt long. That's why I think when she pulled down that chart, that made me laugh, because it was something. But I don't know. I didn't love this. I didn't even like it, but I didn't hate it either. I was like, it felt like a long 10 minutes to kick off the show.
It was interesting. Yeah, it was interesting. It's an interesting construct. You see the whole cast, which was nice. You see Harry Shearer again twice earlier, which was a note. And Garrett's got, one line about watching the boob tube and then runs off set. We should end it. Ends in a crawl.
Yeah.
Another Franken and Davis starts and ends with a crawl.
Right. That's how you know.
But I don't hate it. I agree.
Yeah.
It's like an interesting sketch that for whatever reason plays well, quote unquote, in season 5. I like it in this era. It works well with this cast. And I think Bea Arthur is a great host, both as a woman and how she carries herself, as we've been saying. Yeah.
I honestly, I think a big reason why I did like it was because of Bea Arthur. And I think her in that role.
She helps a lot.
Yeah. Which,
as you mentioned, good cold open, good monologue. You got a strong opening sketch with the host in it. I think things are still clicking.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird way to kick off the show, because it is something where as soon as you see that crawl in the beginning, you're like, okay, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
And it doesn't set you up for a lot of laughs. So it's kind of, I feel like it kind of takes you back a little bit and kind of puts you on your back heel of just thinking like, all right, which way is this show gonna go now?
Yeah.
Because it's not this sketch, this 10-minute sketch almost isn't as strong as the cold open and the monologue were. So where do we go from here? Well, we go ahead.
But I think it also signifies something we talked about last episode, which it's season 5 finding its voice, much like Toad Island. It's a long sketch. It's got kind of a start, middle, and end to it. And you're seeing these kind of longer sketches and Franken and Davis kind of trying to get their voice out there. Like, this is what we're going to be this season. It's tackling an issue. Like, they're bringing on a taboo subject or whatever. So they're still trying to take chances a little bit.
I guess. I mean, I don't know that they're tackling anything or trying to like make a statement as much as they're trying to be edgy. It's kind of like they're trying to be like like O'Donoghue could be sometimes, right? Where it's like, I'm going to make the joke to make it edgy.
Yeah, I kind of felt that a little bit.
But there was something about, and I did not always enjoy O'Donoghue's edginess, but there was something about the way in which he took taboo subjects and talked about it that I think was just, it felt a little more thought out than something like this, and the way that Franken and Davis are trying to be edgy. I think that's what makes him a better writer.
Yeah, there's definitely some Michael O'Donoghue. I felt it last week. I didn't bring it up when we were talking with John, and this isn't the last time this episode.
Right.
I felt like a Michael O'Donoghue influence over us, but yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, you know who also did not have an issue with this sketch was Betty Rollin, the author of the book. She actually wrote a letter to SNL saying how, like, you know, she wasn't offended and you have the right to satirize whatever you want. And, you know, you're probably getting a lot of complaints and bitching and don't let it get you down. You know, she's a huge fan of the show, et cetera, et cetera. And since they got so much mail and anger about this, Al Franken actually wrote a letter that he sent out to viewers responding to everybody, like a forum letter. And he actually quoted her reply. She like gave him permission. So he writes this letter to everybody and said, just so you know, like Betty Rollin actually was okay with this. And they sent this letter out to everybody who complained.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's an interesting justification for telling people that they shouldn't be offended at something you've done. Anyway, free.
No, don't. No. Moving on to Dry. I know where you were going with that.
I stopped.
Yes, you did. Dropout.
So
with Tom Davis.
The next sketch starts with a lot of feedback. There was some audio issue going on there.
Because they're shouting over each other, Bill and Jane, to start the sketch.
Right. But Tom Davis comes on as their son. He couldn't get up and said he didn't feel like going to school that day. So Bill, as a passive aggressive parent, was like, "Oh, you don't want to go to school. I don't want to go to work." And he calls his boss, the president of what is it, McDonnell Douglas?
Oh, I thought he had a meeting with McDonnell Douglas. He canceled their meeting with McDonnell Douglas. I thought he worked for somebody else.
Oh, I don't know. Either way, he has a phone call.
Either way, everyone's canceling work.
And yeah, that sets off a chain of events where everyone blows off work or school or working in the military. I guess Harry Shearer's the general that's like, oh, okay, we're not going to do this.
Harry Shearer, 3 for 3.
Yeah, big night. That's why he's featured.
Yeah.
All of this leads to Russia or the USSR invading the US. Yeah. We had 9.5 minutes of mastectomy jokes and then what felt like 45 seconds for one kid not to want to go to school to all of a sudden Russian invasion.
I mean, it was a short sketch, but as you just said, how much are you going to milk that one premise?
Right. No, I know that, but it just felt like everything happened. So like there was just.
It was very fast.
Yeah.
It was very fast.
And whatever. It was I don't know. I didn't really like this sketch because I thought it was too fast.
I know what you mean. It moves very quickly and you could have used a little bit more time. Maybe it got cut down. You know, after they realized
maybe
First He Cries was 12 minutes that they had to cut some time somewhere.
Yeah.
But I like the idea and I like the gag after Bill hangs up the phone saying the meetings are canceled. They show a newspaper. The headline is "No newspapers today. Everybody goes home."
That was a good headline.
But yes, it was very quick.
Yeah.
One note,
to
get to the end of. What do you call it? The butterfly effect. One kid decides not to go to school and the entire world crumbles.
That was it. Yeah.
I have a question. Can we talk about Bill's character choices here though, real quick?
Sure.
Is he doing some sort of an accent? And then he starts to yell for the last third of the scene.
Yeah, he does a lot of yelling in this sketch.
Granted, it's warranted in the opening. But then after he starts going off on Tom Davis, it's just like yelling at him nonstop.
Yeah. It's a lot. It is interesting. Odd.
I did have a genuine laugh when Harry Shearer tried to exit the sketch and he tripped over the door.
Yeah, I did see that too.
It was a genuine laugh.
Yeah. It was funny because those were the things that made me laugh were the two parts that I thought were not scripted, which was the feedback and then Harry Shearer tripping. Those were my two favorite parts of the sketch.
Right.
Well, all that leads us into the Roches. They come on and they sing their song, Bobby's Song. This is not what I was expecting from the Roches. I'll be honest with you.
No. Well, do you know the Roches?
Not really.
Okay, good. I don't either. So I don't know what I expected,
Yeah,
but it was
right.
not
this.
It was not a season 2 cast off.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Well, we had something with the Roches last season, right? What was that?
Phoebe Snow and Linda Ronstadt covered their song, The Marrying Men. So they were on in, I guess it was May, right? Late April or May.
Yep. Yeah.
And they even shout out the Roches.
Right.
They say it's like their friends, the Roches. So they're covering. And then the Roches album came out in June. Their first album as a trio. I guess the two older sisters were like a duet. And then the third one came in, they became a trio. And their first album, The Roches, came out in June. But I had no idea what the hell this was going to be.
Yeah. So it ends up being just one of the sisters playing acoustic guitar and then the three of them singing and harmonizing with one another. I mean, it wasn't bad. It was fine. It just was not what I was expecting, like you said.
Oof. I did not like this. I did not like this at all.
Yeah.
It felt like Anne Murray with Judy Gosh. Anyway. Yeah, did not like this one bit.
Yeah. Well, add this to the list of performers that you have not liked in season 5 or the first 5 seasons.
You know who did like this performance?
No.
The one on the left. She was really into this song.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whichever one that was.
I don't know.
Yeah. And we should say this is not, neither of their songs tonight are on this new album that they put out, like their first album.
Right.
So they're a new band or new-ish band. You have a album out there, and instead of playing any of the songs on that album, you sing 2 tunes that no one's ever heard of.
Yeah.
It's a bold choice.
Interesting choice.
It's a very bold choice. I agree. This one, I believe, is on their next album that comes out next year, something like that.
Okay. So at least it's something.
It's something.
Yeah.
But do you know, Gary, the SNL connection the Roches have, aside from Linda Ronstadt, Phoebe Snow, there's a much stronger, deeper connection.
Oh, no, I don't know.
I think you only need one guess.
G.E. Smith.
That's not. A little person named Paul Simon.
Oh, a little person. I like that.
I didn't mean it that way, but it is funny. No, apparently when they were a duo, they sang backup on that Ryman Simon album.
Oh, your favorite. Yeah.
And then I think he's one of the producers on that album they made as a duo.
Of course he is.
And then there's a version of the story. Yeah. And then there's a version of the story that he is the one who like pushed to get them on SNL.
Of course. Musical booker, Paul Simon.
But apparently this was a big album at the time. Because I guess give him credit. If you listen to the lyrics, which I did for like half the song, it's interesting writing.
Yeah.
Like it's not traditional folk song. It's like a smart ass satire-y writing.
Yeah.
This Bobby song about this guy who's in love with them. So it's interesting. I could see why people at Saturday Night Live would like it. You know what I mean? Of their sensibilities. Because apparently they were playing this around in the office like throughout the summer and people were into it. And Ian on Ian Talks Comedy talks to the woman who was the music coordinator at the time. And she says like they knew they were going to be on the show at some point. Like people were just loving this album.
Right. I mean, you hear that too in the song that Phoebe Snow and Linda Ronstadt covered was funny.
Yeah, I guess. Yes, it was funny.
Yeah. Well, all right.
Oof.
Not our cup of tea, but not all right. I get it. I'm not sure that I needed this cup of tea either in Weekend Update.
No, I was wondering how you're going to do that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So we start with another Chappaquiddick joke. We talked about this a few weeks ago.
I guess that's
with
all you
Thomas.
can do.
I
guess that's all you can do to knock Ted Kennedy is Chappaquiddick.
I don't think that can possibly be true, but okay. I mean, it's interesting because I heard this Chappaquiddick joke and then coming off of the Reagan is old piece at the beginning, it just felt like those two jokes are so ingrained in comedy that it's like, okay, there's no other way to go. And I get it. Like Reagan's new to the national stage, kind of.
Right.
So hitting him on age, sure. But the Chappaquiddick thing, like I said, when Thomas was on, was like, he's been a senator for a long time now. And he's not just the Chappaquiddick guy. So I'm sure there were other things they could have come up with, but I guess not.
It's an interesting switch from when the show started, and they like attacked Gerald Ford, for being bumbling and, an idiot kind of a thing.
Right.
And Jimmy Carter was like he's just folksy and he's just funny. Ha ha.
Right.
And now they've switched and now they're like digging into Kennedy pretty hard. And Reagan's joke is just like, oh, he's old.
Yeah.
He's just an old guy.
Right. Well, I did not feel like this landed with the audience either.
No, did not.
Most of Update, I don't think landed.
No, luckily it was short, but I agree with you. Not a lot hit.
No. There was a George Meany joke talking about the age of the universe and Lillian Carter. That joke, that was my favorite joke was that the Catholic Archdiocese of New York had SNL on their list of top 5 TV shows. I forget what the phrasing was.
15 worst television programs.
That's what it was.
And then Bill counters with, coincidentally, the Catholic Church turned up 5th on list of worst religions.
That was my favorite joke in all of Weekend Update.
That was your favorite joke?
Yes.
I thought you would have liked the McDonnell Douglas callback when they make fun, because I guess apparently they were maker of planes at the time were having like recalls of planes crashing.
Yep.
The DC-10s. And so they make the joke about they recalled their windshields. And here's one of them now, and they show Chocolate Thunder himself, Daryl Dawkins, breaking a backboard. I thought that would have been your favorite joke.
I didn't like the joke. I liked seeing Daryl Dawkins.
Daryl Dawkins.
Yeah.
Because he had done that a few days prior. He actually did shatter that backboard in Kansas City playing the Kings. And he did it twice. It was like in a span of, I think, less than 3 weeks. He broke 2 backboards. This was like well before the Shaquille O'Neal era.
That's right. The original backboard breaker.
Yeah, Chocolate Thunder.
Everybody's favorite.
I had to look it up because you remember Daryl Dawkins would like name his dunks. That was like his thing.
That's right.
And this one was called The Chocolate Thunder Flying, Robinson Crying, Teeth Shaking, Glass Breaking, Rump Roasting, Bun Toasting, Wham Bam, Glass Breaker, I Am Jam.
Nice.
I love Daryl Dawkins. So great.
Oh, yeah, he was great. What I didn't think was great was Special Science Report from Al Franken, where he's talking about experiments on cockroaches, and he's just then torturing cockroaches on screen.
Well, this is my second O'Donoghue thing. I was like, oh, this feels like something Michael would have done.
Oh, I could see that. My favorite part of this was when he dropped a cockroach. Jane has a legit reaction of fear.
She looks legit scared. Yeah.
Yes.
Either she's an amazing actress or she's legitimately scared.
I think she's because it was a drop and she just the way she backed away from the desk so quickly. Yeah.
Yeah, because she looks like a little bit on edge anyway. And he takes the first cockroach off and he's trying to show that cockroaches can't die or they're hard to kill. So the first one, he starts literally ripping the limbs off one by one. And then he stabs the second one with a pin. And he even says, like, look, his legs are still, scraggling or moving around. And then he just drops it on the table and the motherfucker starts like scurrying.
Yeah. Yeah. Jane did not appreciate that.
No. No. This is another one I guess you can't do today, huh?
No.
You can't really kill animals on live TV.
No. Like, why is this a question?
You're like, no, you idiot.
This is another one of those where I'm like, why are you doing this in 1979? Like, I didn't understand. I don't like cockroaches, don't get me wrong, but I also, whatever.
Roach. He had a good roach joke in the beginning. Get it? Roaches, the roaches. But do you think they're sitting around? It's like Friday night and Al and Tom are like, the roaches. What can we do about the roaches?
Maybe.
And then one of them's like, I got an idea. Let's kill the roaches.
Let's kill roaches. Yeah. I'm surprised there wasn't a crawl before he came on screen.
But I was going to say, in the beginning, when he pulls out the test tube with the cockroaches in it, and he pulls out this is the device you can use. This is the best thing to handle a roach. Whenever you need to handle roaches, you should get this. Trying to play up the drug humor, which I did. I don't know. I thought it was funny. I enjoyed them trying to infuse that in a little bit.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
And then I thought the end was good, actually. It took a little long to get there, but after he does these experiments, he puts one in water in a little beaker and tries to turn the heat on to boil them.
Uh-huh.
And then Jane finally is like, what are you doing? What is the point of this?
Right.
And he has no idea. He's like, what do you mean? She's like, well, experiments are usually you're trying to figure out something or discover something. Or he's like, I don't know. He's like, if I knew that, we wouldn't be discovering anything. He's like, it's just kind of hit or miss.
Yeah, that was a good interaction.
And he says something like, it's tedious work, but somebody's got to do it. Oh, and then he's pouring dish soap,
right?
Liquid dish soap in a beaker to drown them.
Yep.
So I did like the end and how they got there. It was a funny back and forth.
All right. I did enjoy the part where he was explaining experiments. Yeah, that was funny.
It just took a little while to get there.
It did.
It was also weird. I was going to say it in the opening credits, they don't mention Al Franken as a featured player.
Right. And he's on probably more than Tom Davis.
This is the second time now. Yeah. Last episode, we saw him at the desk. Granted, it was a character, but it was still Al. And we've seen him a bunch. It was very odd, especially now that you see this, that Al's not listed as a featured player.
Yeah, now that you say that, it's interesting because Tom Davis is, and he really, he played the kid in that sketch, but that was it.
Yeah, he might show up in the background somewhere. But yeah, that was really it. And Al was one of the officers in that sketch. He's the one who hangs back at the end and eats the waffle after they take everybody.
Right.
They run them all out and Al stops and eats a waffle. Then you see him here.
And he says something with the waffle, but they had already pulled away.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's interesting. Anyway, after that, we get a joke about the Thanksgiving Day parade. They show Hindenburg footage, and that's it. That's the end of Weekend Update.
Yeah.
The audience was not amused. There was like nothing from the audience at the end there.
No, like I said, it was luckily short, but not much there. I like the clock gag on the back. It was a watch and a clock this time behind the two of them. So they keep changing them every week now. It's always something.
Right.
So give you something to look at. But yeah, not much there, sadly.
No, not much there at all. The next sketch had a lot that I thought about because as soon as I saw the set.
Oh, really?
Well, here's why. As soon as we saw the set and all the wood paneling, I immediately thought of Wayne's World. I was like, oh, this looks like the basement in Wayne's World. And then they come in and that's where we are. We're in the basement of Thanksgiving dinner where Bill, Lorraine, and Jane and a very poorly toupeed Paul Schaefer play.
Oh, that's not a toupee. That's a full-on wig, sir.
I guess that is a wig. That's right. They play cousins or siblings who Bea Arthur brings down, and they have to eat Thanksgiving dinner in the basement.
Yeah, there's a card table laid out, and you guys can sit here.
And in spite of their being in their 20s at this point, they have to eat dinner in the basement. Bill's pissed off about this, and everyone else just kind of accepts it. And then they start arguing like children.
They start like going back into their youth and
regressing.
Little kids. Yes, thank you. That's the word. Picking on each other.
Yeah. That's it. That's what this sketch was. I don't know. I thought Paul Schaefer's toupee was funny because at first I didn't realize it was him or the wig. You're right. It's a wig. I don't know.
I think this one was mildly amusing. I kind of liked it. Bill, Jane, and Lorraine are siblings and they're at Paul's house.
Right.
So Bea Arthur's Paul's mom. And, I thought this kind of character played better to Bill's strengths, as playing kind of like the immature smart aleck.
Sure.
So I liked Bill. I liked the interaction with everybody. I think this is the best we've seen Paul Schaefer in an acting sketch.
Yes, I agree.
The bit with him and Lorraine where he starts copying her and they, mimicking each other, I thought was really funny. And then it causes Lorraine to yell to the steps like, Aunt Judy!
Oh, you girls are just big babies, that's all.
Oh, afraid not.
I'm afraid so.
Afraid not, you big jerk.
Perhaps I am, but what are you?
Would everyone please start acting their age again?
Oh,
Oh!
who appointed you Miss Maturity all of a sudden?
Why don't you just keep out of this? You're only a cousin. I'm their sister.
See what I mean about the boys always ruining our Thanksgiving dinner?
See what I mean about the boys always ruining our Thanksgiving dinner?
Ha ha, that's very funny.
Ha ha, that's very funny.
Stop mocking me.
Stop mocking me.
Cut it out, okay?
Cut it out, okay?
I'm gonna tell.
I'm gonna tell.
I'm telling Aunt
I'm
Judy
telling
right
Aunt
now.
Judy right now.
Judy! I suppose you really approve of his antics, don't you?
Well, what's it to you, anyway? Ah! You flinched.
Bea Arthur comes back down.
Right.
To me, biggest bummer was we didn't feature Bea Arthur anymore.
Right.
She's only in it to basically intro the sketch and drop them off. And then she comes down for one line to tell them to, stop misbehaving. And that was it. But the interplay between them all was fun. Jane was great. Bill's really funny. And then I like the little part where when the two women are at the stairs yelling up for Aunt Judy, Paul Schaefer turns back around and Bill goes, hey man, how's med school going?
Yeah.
And like they get all serious about it for a minute.
Right.
And then he's like, what are you doing? He's like, we're just talking about med school.
Yeah, I thought he was good.
Yeah. You know, and then I realized at the end of this, it was another instance where things happen in this era where the host disappears for a bit.
Right.
Because we haven't seen, Bea Arthur wasn't in the Dropout sketch or Update at all, obviously. So she introed the Roches and then only does a couple lines here. And I was kind of being like, where is Bea Arthur? Let's get some quality Bea Arthur time.
Yes, totally agree with you. And we get it in our next sketch.
And we do.
Woman to Woman. So we've seen this before. Gilda plays Connie Carson, a career woman who talks to women about their careers or whatever it is.
I didn't write it down, but I believe it's who's made a career talking to women about being women and their career, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Bea comes on as a guest who wants to just describe herself as a mother. And then it's the same sketch we've seen before with Woman to Woman, where Gilda as Connie Carson tries to knock down the woman that she's interviewing because she has things that Connie Carson does not have. Bea has 5 kids. One's a doctor, one's a lawyer, another one's a lawyer, one's a doctor/lawyer, and one's the slacker. He's a paralegal and paramedic.
I wrote, great kids, all doctors and or lawyers.
Yeah. And it seems like they have, she has the perfect family. And every time Connie Carson tries to, knock her down, she just has an answer to it about how great her kids are in her life. And they call her every day. And she actually has a career where she's an author. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the woman to woman sketches just in general, but I enjoyed Bea in this sketch because she's holding her own like she does.
I like these sketches, although we've only seen it 2 other times, and this is the last time, which is another one feels odd, right? Like season 5, you'd feel you'd play more of these. You've got
I don't think so, but I just don't like these.
I like I didn't like the second one, but this is very reminiscent of the first one with Jane, where Jane's like a housewife,
right?
And Gilda tries to knock her down, and the guest is like, no. And I think this is not a bad sketch at all. I actually think this is a good sketch, but I think I came into it with too high expectations because I was excited to see Bea Arthur, and I was waiting for Bea Arthur to like knock this out of the park, and she didn't.
Oh, you don't think so? I thought she was great in this.
I think she's very good. So I'm saying my expectations were just too high. Like if I would have came in
what do you expect from
whatever.
This sketch? I think that's my problem with this sketch. Is like the sketch. There's only so much you can do in this sketch.
Bea Arthur, we kept talking about like her presence.
Yeah.
And I think Bea Arthur can talk down to somebody and put you in your place really well.
Yeah.
And knowing what this sketch is, I was waiting for Bea Arthur to do it. And she didn't. Like she didn't let her performance crush Gilda's character.
Right.
It was just the dialogue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was waiting for Bea Arthur as Bea Arthur to shut up Connie Carson.
Got it.
I think that's what I wanted. I wanted to see like vintage Bea Arthur, like shutting up Archie Bunker. I wanted to see that here.
Okay. I get it.
But it's just a personal thing.
Sure.
I agree with you. I liked it. It's a great sketch. I like these all the time. It ends funny too, where you mentioned, she calls her out on like the kids and then her career and then a husband. And she's like, what about drugs, drug abuse?
Right.
And there's this great sequence where, how she lined up all the drugs for her kids that they could get and said she would try them with them. And did it ever work? She's like, yes.
What about drug abuse? I mean, pills, angel dust, anything like that?
Connie, may I tell you a very personal and I think a very touching story?
Who's stopping you?
Well, Connie, when my kids were starting junior high, I got one of every drug that was available on the street. And I laid them all out in front of them, and then I told them the pharmaceutical name, the slang name, the side effects, and the street value of each one. And I said, kids, if ever you feel tempted to take any of these drugs, come to me, your mother, and I'll take them with you.
And did they?
Oh, yes. Free and I dropped acid together in the late 60s. I know it was one of the most beautiful experiences of my life, and I like to believe that it was for free also.
What's her, like, Free?
Yeah.
The hippie of the family?
Yep. The paralegal / paramedic. Yeah.
The one who's not a lawyer, doctor, the hippie. So, yeah, I don't know. And it did go on a little long, but yeah, it's a good sketch. I just came in wanting too much.
Yeah. I thought Bea Arthur was good in this sketch. I'm not crazy about this sketch in general. So it is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Did you like the next one?
I did.
Yeah.
Harry Shearer to camera.
Yeah.
Advertising for Safeco. And it's the whole thing is that they buy recalled products and sell them to you. So he's going through like federal recall lists where they just buy everything, like this food processor he pulls out. And he says it has very minor blade loosening problems. I really liked that line.
Yeah, I had that one too.
Yeah, I thought he was very good in this. And he wasn't trying to be Dan and talk fast or do anything. He was just right to camera, didn't miss a beat. You know, the biggest problem he had was taking the food processor out of the box, which whatever, that's going to happen. But I enjoyed this. I thought it was a good premise of a sketch.
I agree. I like this a lot more than the first direct-to-camera pitchman bit he did.
Yeah.
Because that one I did. I remember asking, like, is he doing Dan?
Right.
And I think you needed to see one and get it out of your system.
Yep.
And you had said it, if I remember, you're like, no, he's not. You're just like, that's who Harry Shearer is. Like, he's good with words. He can speak fast. Like, that's what he can do. And once you kind of, I said, get that first one out of your system, this one's really great.
Hi, Tom Clay for Safeco, America's #1 chain of recalled products discount centers. Hey, no one likes to pay retail or even wholesale prices. That's why they're Safeco. Let me tell you what we do. Every time the federal government orders a product recalled, we buy it. No, not one or two at a time. Not even by the dozen. In carload lots. Then we sell these brand new products. High-fashion lipsticks with red dyes #2 and 4. Microwave ovens that barely exceed radiation leakage standards. Even children's pajamas completely fireproof with a possible carcinogen. We sell them all at a fraction of their original price. And 10 cents out of every profit dollar goes to the VA because that's the Safeco way. Hey, speaking of Safeco, would you believe it? Our inventory manager goofed and ordered too many of the pink invoice forms. So we gotta have a giant inventory liquidation sale all this weekend at every Safeco savings center from coast to coast in Canada to Kansas.
He's really good. He's really funny. Like you said, doesn't miss a beat. I believe he's doing a parody of a California DJ and pitchman, a guy from San Francisco called Tom Campbell, who was, again, like a very fast talker and would kind of do these pitchman things. I think somewhere I was looking it up, and he did a radio spot where he was talking to a guy who was like selling a stereos. And he's like, how can you sell a stereo from $1,000 down to $249.95? And the guy's rattling off all these stats. I don't know if it was directly pulled from that one or not, but the guy, this Tom Campbell, sounds very similar to Harry Shearer, or at least this character. So he does a really good impression of this famous West Coast DJ, if you ever listen to him.
Interesting.
Again, it's another Harry Shearer piece. We're seeing him a lot this episode. I think he's doing really well.
Yeah, I think so. I liked him in everything that he's done so far. And I really liked this pitchman sketch, Safeco.
It's good.
Yeah.
You can see him, that this is his role. And I'm sure he wrote this because, again,
yep,
Shearer came from LA. He probably knew it and heard the guy. So it's a really strong piece.
I agree. Well, we get more of Harry Shearer in our next sketch, where Bea is in her New York City apartment with a giant piano again. And
it's like our third piano of the episode.
Yeah.
Because Paul Schaefer's in the background of that First He Cries party sketch.
Yes.
Playing piano in the back with Rosie at the... Yeah, so it's our third piano we've seen tonight.
No, they rented the piano and wanted to keep it. So she's there talking to potential backers about what she thinks is going to be the next great rock opera entitled Two Men. So Paul Schaefer and Harry Shearer are the guys who wrote this rock opera, which is a story about the relationship between a hairstylist in Los Angeles and Charlie Manson. And the whole...
And the hairstylist was one of Charlie Manson's victims.
Right. Yeah.
Jay Sebring. So yeah, he's one of the guys who's one of his victims. So part of the story.
Right. So they introduce Garrett, Bill, and Gilda as just actors who are going to sing the parts, as Harry and Paul explain the scenes and then set up different musical numbers that Bill, Garrett, and Gilda all sing. And this was a lot. This was another sketch where this is a 12-minute sketch.
Was it that long, really?
Yes, it was.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. This one doesn't have multiple scenes like many of our other long sketches have. This all takes place in the apartment, and it's just exactly what I said. That's the premise, is they set up a scene and then one of them comes on and sings it. Did you notice that every time Bill came up and sang a number, when he was done,
I have the same note. Yes, I did.
He would turn around and shake Paul's hand and not Harry Shearer. And the last time he did
it was one of my last notes to ask you.
Yeah. The last time he did it, Harry Shearer actually put his hand out and Bill starts to and then says something just between them and pulls it away. And I was like, what the hell is going on?
I don't know, but it was great. It was a great little touch, whatever it was.
It was so weird. I mean, this thing, I don't know. Whatever. I didn't, this one lost me. This was the one where I started to watch the clock because I was like, yeah,
really?
Because first Paul sings and they talk about Mel Torme and like Mel Torme introing this thing.
Does it have to be the real Mel Torme? Well, Mel Torme inspired.
Yes. And that's kind of what I wanted, was more interactions like that. But instead it was a lot of singing, and it didn't really do anything for me at all.
Well, you're going to hate my first note because I was like, this is a good little sketch. And apparently it wasn't little.
It wasn't little. It was long.
This to me also had the vibe that felt new. I feel like this isn't a sketch you would have seen the first 4 seasons. And it felt like this is who we are. Kind of back to my point of this is really an episode where the cast and writers and everybody got to say who the show is this season. And so I think it's a sketch that has a different tone, a different feel, mostly because I think Harry Shearer is the main writer. Harry and Paul Shearer wrote this. You know, all the songs are original songs. As we know, Harry can write songs with Spinal Tap. Mm-hmm. Paul Simon, obviously accomplished songwriter. So
Paul Schaefer.
I feel like Paul Schaefer, thank you. So I feel like they're leaning into their strengths, and I think they do a good job. I think this is a great sketch to showcase that. I think it's the first chance you get that season 5 might still have something in it. So I like that. And then sketch itself, I thought it was really great for Bill. It was nice to see him like singing and not be Nick the lounge singer, but he plays this pompous character so well, this understudy. He was pulled from being Robert Klein's understudy to this showcase, and now he's like carrying himself like he's the shit.
Right.
I thought was really funny. Does a decent job singing. Him and Gilda singing duets was fun.
They actually had a very nice duet, the two of them.
Yeah. You don't... Again, Harry Shearer is so subtle. And when he introduces that first duet and he says the title, "You Don't Stay Home / I Want to Go Out." Just his delivery, it's so small. Again, it's like when he's not the star, he plays really well. Garrett, I don't know. Garrett plays Charlie Manson and he sings his song 9, which is another Beatles reference. But Garrett's got a lot going on this season. We can't pick on him. What else? Shearer constantly mentions lasers, like 4 different times as they're explaining the sets and the scenes and the transitions, like probably lasers.
Yeah.
He's really good. Harry Shearer's really good in the sketch too. He's having a good night.
Agreed. Yes, he is very good in this sketch, which just made the whole interaction with Bill thing even weirder to me.
I know. The only knock, I didn't mind the length, again, because I thought it was really nice because I was enjoying this kind of new sketch they were showing us. Not a lot for the host. And yet, Bea Arthur is a great host for this. Like her presence, you can see her as this big New York City woman who would bring all these money bag people to her apartment and say, we're going to be the forefront of New York musical, Broadway, rock musicals. Let's get our pocketbooks out. Let's write some checks over cake. And so she is a great person to play the role. I just wish she would have had more to do than just come in between each song and ask a question. Like, is burglar a word? Does it need to be Mel Torme? Burgle, right?
Yeah.
But I like it. I like this a lot.
I liked the idea. Like, I liked the premise. I liked Harry Shearer. I wish there was more Bea Arthur with, like you're saying. I liked the duet with Bill and Gilda. I just felt like there were too many songs. And I think part of it was I didn't enjoy Garrett's piece. When I realized that each one of them was going to have a song, I was like, well,
and it's odd that Garrett's piece is not good. We know Garrett can sing.
Also surprising. Yeah.
So did they write it that way, or did he make I hate to say it, does he make the bad choice to go that route? Because he's kind of like spastic and very, like he was having an episode.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't get
This
it.
is the only time I can remember Garrett singing and it not going over well.
I mean, he's also like, he's playing an off-Broadway actor playing Charles Manson. So maybe maybe there are layers there, but I don't know. I agree with you. That stuck out to me.
Yeah. But I really liked it. Really liked this sketch.
Yeah. I just wish it wasn't as long and there weren't as many songs, but
All right.
I like the idea. Well, another sketch that we've seen before. This was not a new concept for season 5.
No.
Mr. Bill comes back and he's living in his trailer park because Mr. Hand destroyed his home last time. And now Mr. Hand comes on and he's going to build Mr. Bill's new house. I did enjoy when Mr. Hand hooked the trailer up to the back of his car and then he's like whipping the trailer around. That was fun.
Well, I was gonna say I reacted when he hooks the trailer and it pulls away and it pulls Spot. Like you see Spot's chained to the trailer and Spot gets yanked away.
That's right. That's right.
They do always find a good new way to get Spot. I do enjoy that. A lot of production value on this one, I gotta say.
There was.
It's a really nice set
going on
when he's at the trailer, and then there's live footage of the car dragging the trailer around on real roads, and the stuff with Mr. Bill getting hurt. It went kind of fast at one point. Sluggo comes and he's going to build the house. So he nails his hand and hammers this off and drills through his stomach. There's a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end, what happens at the end? Oh, then Sluggo, who builds the house, is also the insurance agent.
Yes.
And shows up with the fine print. It's like, you didn't read the fine print. And it says, this expires yesterday. Anything built after the expiration date has to be torn down.
Uh-huh.
And they bring in a demolition ball, which my note was fucking demolition ball.
Yeah.
And they wrecking ball the house and Mr. Bill into a brick wall.
I liked that the insurance policy was Sluggo of Omaha.
Noticed that too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was high production value for Mr. Bill. It was,
which I liked.
It was something different in the way that they did all of that. So yeah, it was good. It was good, Mr. Bill.
Nothing new. This is the third one this season. We're well over 15 for the run. But, and they've got this arc. Every episode is continuing to tell a story, which is nice. They're not just doing random Mr. Bills like they started out with. There is a overarching storyline, so that's fun.
Yeah, it was fun. I don't know what the overarching storyline was with our next sketch, except it's another Beatles reference. Like you said, we've had
more
2
Beatles
already, right?
We've had more than 2, my friend. It's in First She Cries. Yeah, First She Cries. Yeah. Bill talks about Bambi thinking Paul McCartney, the Beatles were his first backup band. The Helter Skelter in that thing. The Spud Beer. That's 3. This is at least 4.
Oh, I forgot about the Spud Beer thing. Yeah. Okay.
This is at least 4, and I might be forgetting one, but yeah.
Maybe. This is Los Bitalos Cubanos. Bill Murray plays Rizzy Baldero, who is setting up the fact that these guys in Cuba heard the Beatles and started playing Beatles tunes like Yesterday. And then we get, a list of different, Cubanized Beatles songs. We don't hear them sing all of them, but
it's like Buckwheat before Buckwheat was the thing. Mispronouncing and missinging Beatles tunes.
Right. Yeah.
And we should say Don Pardo sets it up, doesn't he, with a voiceover?
Yes, he sets it up, and then Bill talks about how he discovered them.
Because he talks about a new wave of imitators, like the Beatles, but they're Cuban.
Right.
And then you see the band. We got to talk about the band.
Okay.
All right. So Tom Schiller, who I believe also wrote this, is the lead singer. Sure, I get it. He's a musician. He's actually good. And
he's doing his Ricky Ricardo, essentially, while he's singing.
Yeah, like band leader thing. Yeah.
Well, and the way he's singing with his Cuban accent. Yeah.
Peter Aykroyd on guitar. Fine. Whatever. Sure. Garrett on drums is a bold choice.
Why?
Or what's a more bold choice? That or Paul Schaefer on guitar?
Why is it? We've seen Paul on guitar for other things.
Because I feel like we've seen him on drums more often than not, and put Paul back on drums. And
that's too much like Candy Slice if you put him on drums.
You know who should have taken Paul's spot on guitar?
Who?
Neil Levy. When's the last time we saw Neil Levy playing? Remember him and Schiller used to play together, like guitar and violin in the early seasons?
That's right. Yeah.
It would have been fun to see Schiller and Levy back again.
We haven't seen Neil Levy at all this season, have we? I don't know.
No, he's I think an assistant director this season. He's got more important shit to do.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Bill has a line. I saw them. I liked them. They were very fun. They don't always get the words right, but that's okay.
Yeah.
And then I think that's when they cut to them singing Lucy Up Very High.
Yep.
It's so silly.
It is silly.
I like this one.
Yeah, it was fine.
Short and sweet, silly, stupid fun. Like it was fun.
Yeah. It was fun.
It was just odd. Like it was another Beatles thing this episode. Like I feel like we haven't seen Beatles stuff in a while, and now they're just dumping it all in this episode.
Yeah. It seemed like a lot for out of nowhere too. I wonder why. Also out of nowhere.
Yes.
Andy Kaufman shows up. And it's just unannounced.
Not in the credits, doesn't get an intro. Just they come back from commercial and he's there in his robe and towel and full heel mode.
Full heel mode. So Andy's on talking about how last time he was on, he was wrestling that woman, and basically he's setting up his next match on SNL. He's promoting wrestling on the December 22nd, the Christmas show. He's going to wrestle some random woman, and if she beats him,
she wins $1,000. He'll shave his hair on live television, and he'll never wrestle a woman again.
Right. Yeah. And he, like you said, he's full heel mode, talking about how no woman can do it because they don't have the mind to do it. Yeah. And this really does come out of nowhere, and it's surprising.
Yeah. And as he's doing this, at what point do you start asking yourself, when does Bea Arthur show up?
I was kind
like,
of
it's interesting. This is the episode he does it with, a Bea Arthur hosted episode.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, if there's any woman who would kick Andy Kaufman's ass, Bea Arthur's high on that list.
Oh yeah. Yes. Absolutely.
Because you're waiting for something to happen, and then you realize, oh, this is just a promo. Okay, cool.
Yeah. And that was my immediate reaction, was kind of like, where's this going to go? And I wasn't thinking it would be B necessarily, but now that you say that, it makes total sense. But no, it was totally just a promo to get people to write in to wrestle him in December.
Yeah. For the next time. Yeah.
But we do see Bea Arthur.
Then we cut to her. Yeah.
And she says, I hope somebody beats him right away.
Did you say, like, I hope somebody beats him really bad or something?
Yeah, really. Yeah. Which I thought was great.
Yeah.
And B then introduces the Roches again, and they come on and sing Hallelujah, not the Leonard Cohen song.
No. Yeah, again, another unreleased tune. I think this one comes out a few albums even after the next one, like Hallelujah chorus, but it's just them. Am I wrong in saying it's just them singing Hallelujah over and over again?
It's not them just singing Hallelujah. There are other lyrics that they sing to the song, but it's just, the three of them singing a cappella and harmonizing Hallelujah. I thought it was very good. Again, not what I was expecting, but I thought they were very good. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. You know who else thought it was good?
No.
The one on the left.
Who?
Again.
You didn't like this? You didn't think they were good?
Maybe I was just taken aback by what they were. Listen, they can't all be winners, right? Kate Bush, Blondie, Devo. They can't all be winners. Like, they're an act up and coming, right?
Yep.
Patti Smith. And you're like, they're going to be huge. Let's get them on. Let's be the ones to break them.
Right.
You can't bat 1,000.
I mean, I guess if that's what they were going for, if that's the mindset, sure. I think
feel like
to your point earlier, though, it's like they all liked the music.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're not that amazing yet where you're like, they're trying. They had to have been trying to break them or helping break them.
Yeah, because they all liked them, right? And like we have,
or the Paul Simon theory.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of artists that we've seen on the show that are like, oh, they're on because so and so liked them and got them a spot on the show.
Oh, we're gonna have more of that this season. But no, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, but I think they're good. Like, it's not what I would have expected to see, but I enjoyed it because I thought they were good.
Maybe I'm surprised too much. Maybe that's it. Because what they do is not bad. You are correct.
Yeah.
I guess it's just not my cup of tea. I wasn't
sure.
It also doesn't help. We've had a pretty stellar run this season so far.
Oh, with musical guests?
Musical guests, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Blondie, Chicago, Bob Dylan, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Like, it's a good run. They had to come down at some point.
Yeah.
Chicago was fucking good, man. I'm a man, yes I am, and I can't help but loving you.
I still like Spencer Davis Group's version way more than Chicago's.
Whatever. But funny story, though, because they thought, to the point of them thinking this was going to be a huge break for them, they actually wrote a song about this in the late 80s called Big Nothing.
Oh, interesting.
And it's a song all about how they were, on TV and it was supposed to be something and it didn't turn out.
Well, at least they recognized it 10 years later.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's our show. So we end with the Roches singing a cappella. We get a very subdued good night from Bea Arthur.
Short and sweet.
Yeah. That was it.
Did you watch all of the credits?
I think I did.
Did you hear who the encore?
Oh, yes,
the
I
replay
did.
Is the next week?
Because I was surprised.
Jack Burns?
Yes. Going
Jack
back to
Burns is your
1,
replay.
Right? I was shocked that that's how far back they were going.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. That's the episode. How do you feel about it?
I think it's a decent show. I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it. I liked it in the placement of the season. I thought last week's was good. We all agreed last week's was probably the best we've seen.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel we also thought a lot of that was because of Buck.
Correct.
They wanted to get Buck in, lean on Buck. Buck really brought things back. Where this episode, as we've said, you don't lean on the host a lot. She's excellent in what she does. But I feel like you did get a chance with First He Cries and Backer Audition, and then, the really great Harry Shearer Pitchman sketch. You really get a sense of what season 5 could be.
Yeah.
And if you were, second guessing things for the first few episodes, Buck comes back, and now it's a great one too. I think this is a really fun episode. I only thing would have wanted more Bea Arthur.
I'm with you. I think that was kind of a disappointment for me, was that there wasn't a lot of Bea Arthur, or not as much Bea Arthur as I would have wanted from this episode. Mm-hmm. It is surprising how many sketches did not have any Bea Arthur, let alone not enough Bea Arthur.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I enjoyed it, but I feel like they still missed something because they didn't, to your point, last week they leaned on Buck. This week I felt like they could have, but also maybe it was the cast is now starting to figure things out. The cast and the writers of just like, all right, this is how we make it work this season.
I mean, you know who they did lean on?
Harry Shearer. Yeah.
Yeah. And good Harry Shearer. Like, this is his coming out party. I think this is an excellent episode for him. This is fantastic,
yeah.
Harry Shearer.
Definitely lean into Harry Shearer this episode, and it works. He was great.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was.
Well, Brad, what are your best bits?
Backer's Audition. I loved it. Thought it was a great sketch. Timely. Worked well for the season. I love it.
Yeah. All right. Mine was Saveco. So we both leaned into Harry Shearer. I thought that was a really good commercial, really good Pitchman sketch.
It was.
And he was great. So yeah, I mean, I think we talked about leaning into Harry Shearer, and we agreed, like, they needed to this week, and it worked.
Yeah, they're on a good run.
Next week.
Oh, Gary, before you sign off, can I just one more thing?
Sure.
Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road.
And back again.
Your heart is true.
You're a pal.
And a confidant. Just start doing the closing. I'll go underneath you. Keep going.
Okay. Next week,
I'm not ashamed to say
on the early years of SNL,
I hope it always
we're talking about
way.
season 5, episode 6.
My hat is off. Won't you stand up and take a bow?
With host Howard Hessman and musical guest Randy Newman.
And if you threw a party and invited everyone you knew, you would see the biggest gift would be from me.
Until then,
and the card attached would say, "Thank you for being a friend."
Good night.
Good night.
Have a pleasant tomorrow.
Have a pleasant tomorrow.
Thanks for listening to the Not Ready for Primetime Project. Look for us on social media everywhere at NR4PT Project. And please drop us a line to let us know what you think of the shows, and frankly, because we're kind of lonely, at nr4ptproject@gmail.com. The Not Ready for Primetime Project team includes Brad Robinson and Gary Seath. Our announcer is Jason Taylor, who is not doing his job announcing these end credits. And the original music by Jacob Spiewak. Please remember to rate and review wherever you watch and or listen to the show.
Before we leave, do you know my funniest Bea Arthur comedy bit is?
No.
Do you remember celebrity roasts, like the Comedy Central roast?
Uh-huh.
Jeff Ross does a bit at the Jerry Stiller roast, and he gets to the podium and he's going off. 'Cause they rip on everybody on the dais. And he looks over and he's busting Sandra Bernhard's balls about something. He's like, Sandra Bernhard, I wouldn't fuck her with Bea Arthur's dick.
Oh, I do.
And they cut to Bea, and Bea's looking at him and shaking her finger. It's one of the best roast jokes of all time.
I like how your favorite Bea Arthur moment does, all Bea Arthur does is wag her finger at Jeff Ross.
That's how good she is. That's all she needs to do.
Brad, why do you do this? Do you do this to hurt us?